What is going on YouTube? Today we are back with a banger as we go for the Assassin's Creed Origins Platinum Trophy. This task is estimated to take around 50 hours to complete and was actually a suggestion in a comment from quite a while back. Boom. To earn this platinum we are going to need to conquer all of Egypt, yes, every single little piece of it, while learning about the origins of the Assassins. Although I am not too sure if Valhalla or Odyssey changed that lore a bit or not. This game has a total of 50 trophies to unlock the platinum, and it is genuinely as tedious as it all sounds. Bayek's journey is action packed and filled with quite a compelling story in my opinion. Anyway, if you enjoy gaming and trophy hunting content, please do consider subscribing, it really helps me out. And of course, if you enjoy this video, drop a like and comment below what games you want to see videos on. Some of you that are subscribed may have noticed there is a delay in this upload, and that is because my footage decided to corrupt 4 times. Yeah, it has taken me 4 whole attempts to edit this video, so I do apologise for the delays. Now, let's jump back in time and find out the origins of the Ars Arsin group that we all know and love. The game starts off by giving us a cinematic shot of Egypt and a pharaoh giving this bald dude the suck me eyes.
Yeah, boy.
We then fast forward sometime later and that bald dude was Bayek, the main guy that we will be playing as all game. He also endgames this dude with a crisp high five to the face. For some reason, we then jump ahead again a bit more I think, and we ended up in this arena with a bodyguard to land combat. After beating him up, we then get a chance to explore some ruins where we are again introduced to more tutorials until we meet up with our friend outside. We then head home, which we share with this old woman, and she started yapping so we fell asleep. When we wake up though, there are some guards outside and we are now introduced to the classic stealth that we all know so well. Once we cleared the house, we then get a cutscene explaining that this dude here is ruining our hometown of Siwa, so he has to go. This dude agrees, I think. We then get let out into the open world and realise just how much we are going to have to do for this platinum trophy. Just look at the size of this map.
That's what she said!
Anyway, we decided to crack on with clearing Siwa, and that of course meant some side activities that bleed into the main missions a little bit. We ended up clearing out different camps and stash houses for better gear. Also, just quickly, look at how brutal the sleeping assassination is before you get the hidden blade. Since we got some better gear, we also found this triple shot type bow, which we loved because it can do this. Now that we have cleared most of Siwa, we tracked down the main dude and after some parkour got an aerial assassination taking us into our next cutscene. We do the classic chit chat and want to tickle them with the feather, but it gets interrupted by our son, which was a little odd. After finding out that Bayek has a son, we were then immediately taken back in time for some father-son bonding. During this, we were attacked by some guards and both of us were taken prisoner. For some reason, this group called the Order wanted us to open up this ancient door and thought Bayek knew how as he was the protector of Siwa. This is a pretty intense scene honestly, and as you can expect, everything goes horribly wrong. Bayek does complete his first ever assassination though, but unfortunately it was on his son.
Oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
We also got bonked on the head with this golden ball and go to sleep. Yeah, it was some pretty heavy stuff, and this alone is what made Bayek want to hunt down every member of this ancient order. We then go back to present day with more of an understanding of why we are hunting this group. However, before we close off the first sequence of the game, we are going to quickly complete the rest of the bits in Siwa. While doing this, we got a trophy for completing our first tomb, and then once the side stuff was completed in Siwa, we get a trophy for beating the prologue. There are still animuses in this game and we are introduced to Layla, which is who is accessing Bayek's memory. Now, she isn't exactly any Desmond and her stuff is really mid. So we quickly jumped back in and carried on with Bayek's journey. It picks up in the top right hand side of the map, and before we can get into one of the main cities called Alexandria, we went and explored some of the map. And by explore the map, I mean complete everything in a good portion of the regions in this corner. While doing this, we got up to quite a bit, like synchronizing viewpoints, beating up merchants, and nearly getting squashed by civilians.
we've been trying to contact you regarding your car's extended warranty.
There was a good run of trophies too, like this one for completing a certain side mission. This trophy was for using all types of vehicles at least once. Another one was for running from 3 fights against hippos. And then finally this trophy for hitting level 20.
Hey, disconnected!
Yeah, since the max level is 40, maybe it is time we complete the first mission of the game. So let's do the main story for a bit, and it starts with us meeting up with our wife. For the next few cutscenes, we basically just get to watch them smash a few times and then talk about what we have found out. Our wife Aya is technically also an assassin and is working with us to avenge the death of our son. Since we know there are more members out there, we decided to help Aya track down a member within the main city. She also just gives us the hidden blade. There is no explanation about how it was made or anything, which kinda sucks. We just kind of have one now, and Aya does too. Now, let's go and track down this other order member, and this first meant finding some information on his whereabouts. After we break into his home, we find out that he frequents the local bathing house, so it's time for us to strip down for the boys. Somehow, they let us keep our hidden blade though, and after some sneaking around, we quickly assassinated our target. It does go horribly wrong though, as not only do we nearly die, but we lose our finger during the scuffle. At least, this is a cool explanation as to why the Creed members do lose that finger in particular. Anyway, Bayek is completely unfazed about what just happened as we carry on climbing around without sorting out our rather major wound. Next up was another target that is hiding in a garrison full of guards, and once we tickled him with the feather, we headed home to our wife. They started going at it immediately, but we did also get a trophy for completing the first part of the story. Layla got woken up from the Animus as well, but nothing to really mention here, so back in we go. We then get a quick slideshow of Aya talking to loads of different dudes, which is kind of odd, and then we get taken back to the point right after they were done smashing on this tower. Bayek and Aya agree that in order to keep fighting the Order, they are going to need to get more people involved that want to fight back against them. So we start making friends with some of the local top Gs and eventually manage to earn an audience with Cleopatra. It turns out that the Order are messing with her rise to power, and everyone in this cutscene all agrees to work together to take them out. In a nutshell, we have basically become Cleo PP's personal assassins, but she gave us some good info. We got a few names to go and take out from the group, and this is really where the game is meant to open up. However, as we have basically completed a quarter of the map, we thought it was best to carry on with the story and go and kill the next target called the Scarab. He is a bit tapped in the head as he likes burying people alive in the desert and leaving them there, like that scene from the Far Cry 3 trailer. The first part of the hunt was to of course get some information, and in order to do that we had to help out this family. While doing so, we earned a trophy for getting 10 stealth kills in a row. Then we carry on helping out this local town and its people until we get a celebration thrown as a thank you. Unfortunately, we were also drugged by the family hosting the celebration and end up buried in the desert.
Big man thing, yeah? It's not looking good, bruv.
Where it took an embarrassingly long amount of time to figure out how to escape, but we are not going to talk about that. We then retrieved our gear and went after the Scarab now that we know it was one of the dudes we were helping out. One stealthy assassination later that ended up being in front of his family, we not only took down our target but we also got a trophy. Don't worry about the kid crying, he'll be fine I think. For some reason we then end up playing as Aya for a bit as she bullies ships out of the ocean. It kind of reminds me of Black Flag here, which is one of the worst Assassin's Creeds by the way, but fortunately we don't have many of these sections. Although Aya's character is great, I was glad to complete our first sequence as her and we then earn a trophy as well. Since we are back to playing as Bayek, we decided to go around and complete more of the map. But first, we got a trophy for using the Eagle for a total of 30 minutes, followed by quickly crafting 20 upgrades for this trophy. There is so much to cover honestly about what Bayek went through, but we will try to summarise it and split it up with trophies. Starting with these mini-boss type enemies that I called phalluses because I can't pronounce their actual name.
Phalanx.
But they were also massive We did get a trophy for killing our first one though. Our adventures took us to all kinds of places, like up this Sphinx's bumhole to find this pretty cool ancient room.
What did he say?
I also forgot to interact with the item here, so I had to go through the entire tomb again to mark it as complete. We then carried on going around the map, doing some more of the generic things you would expect, like taking out camps and synchronizing viewpoints. We also managed to get a trophy for swimming, running and riding a horse a lot. There was also the side mission where we found this kid in the temple thing, and his dad was so happy that his brain shut down. This literally broke the mission and I had to replay a good bit of it. It gets even better though, as we shortly after couldn't progress this other mission as this alligator gained the ability to phase through walls. Some good news though, there was a trophy for breaking 100 objects, but going back to exploring, we managed to find more of these hidden temples and cleared out more local camps. There are also these star sign things that you do in memory of Bayek's son scattered around the map. Believe it or not though, we did start to find areas that we were underleveled for as we humbly got our cheeks clapped. While completing other regions, we managed to pop a trophy for completing our 15th underwater location. We then went and started completing some of the side missions that we had gained, and some of them were interesting, should we say.
What a shame. Such a pretty girl.
There are also these boats scattered around that you can clear quite easily normally. However, we completely messed this one up, which conveniently is our 8th and of course the one that pops the trophy. There was also these encounters with animals which were terrifying.
What the hell?
Then we accidentally solved this papyrus mystery which gave us a trophy. I still don't have a clue what these things are. We then got another trophy for completing the side mission called the 7 Farmers, and I can't remember what it was about because I skipped the cutscenes. Then there was also this trophy we got here for killing 3 enemies with 1 attack.
Huh?
Anyway, this is how much of the map we've 100%ed so far, so I reckon it's time for us to progress the story a little bit more again. For this, we had a few targets to choose from, but decided to follow the intended path and hunt down the hyena next. All of the Order members are named after animals, which is either quite cool or makes them furries, and I am definitely happy to be assassinating furries. We then went and helped some of the locals to get some more details on this hyena. But it turns out she was not too difficult to find, as she ends up ambushing us when we were in this tomb. After a very weird chat, we then chase her out of this tomb and into this sandstorm to start the boss fight. As we were pretty over leveled for this target, it did not take us long to send her to the Shadow Realm and tickle her with the feather. This of course unlocks our next story based trophy as well. Our next target is called the Lizard, and he uses this plague-like curse to cause fear and maintain control. We get an example of it driving this bull a bit mad. It's a good job that this is not a china shop. This whole target does get a tad weird, as a few missions later we end up drinking with this girl and nearly dying. We have all been there, am I right? However, when we wake up we are rewarded with a trophy for surviving whatever madness that was, and now have information on the Lizard. He could be one of a few targets, and you are meant to investigate and figure out which one it was. I just straight up assassinated the first one I saw in broad daylight, and he was conveniently the right one though. For some reason he was massive in the Shadow Realm, which was a bit random. We then go and report back to Cleopatra and let her know that we have assassinated a majority of the targets. Bayek then gets to bonk the missus real quick, and we then get given another trophy. At this point we decided to go back into the open world again. By mixing up the story and open world aspects, I felt like it would make the game a lot less tedious. It really did not, in all honesty.
Whoops.
While you are uncovering all kinds of hidden tombs and ancient temples, there are these gold glowing things. You need to collect 50 of them to complete all regions, and it was very common that people were not collecting enough during their playthrough. So hopefully we have been collecting enough while we've been playing. We will find out a little bit later. Anyway, during this side mission we unlocked a trophy for killing an enemy with the bow while in the air. Then there was this fortress which started to introduce max level enemies and these mini bosses which we could not one shot.
Oh, Jesus Christ. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, he took a few attempts to take down.
Got your ass. Third time's a charm.
Then there was also this moment of Ubisoft magic as we managed to complete a random location due to the captain having a scrap out in the desert far away from his camp. Some camps and many fails later, we managed to unlock a skill that we could use to get a trophy here. All we had to do was get a kill from over 60 meters away using this new ability. Shortly after, we were able to find the last stargazing site as well, and once we completed it, we get another trophy. For the next few hours, we were clearing more regions around the map, which is for the most part repeating what we have already covered so far. However, since we had a better understanding of the game, we were flying through each of the regions at quite a pace, in all honesty. We had a lot of skill points earned from doing everything so far, and since we unlocked all of the abilities we needed for trophies, I put points into Apex abilities that add flat damage or health, and then got a trophy for doing this for the first time. We were now so far ahead that even the higher level missions were not giving us much of a challenge. So let's get a little progress report on the map and see what we have done so far.
Got a little bit carried away here, because we've basically now completed all of the map. Apart from that top C region, just while we clean up a couple of side missions and that.
The only thing that we haven't got round to yet was these elephant boss battles, but they were next on my list. There are a few of these scattered around the map in these arenas, and we need to beat them all, which even at my level is a lot easier said than done. It was during this fight that we learned about cursed weapons, which completely pivoted my gameplay. They will take away 2/3 of your max HP in exchange for triple damage. Now, you combine that with a bow that replaces your adrenaline with every hit, and you can stay in this rage mode indefinitely, and your damage output is just insane. I used this build for the rest of the game, and it was mad how easy it made the game. There was also a couple more of those phallus dudes roaming around close by, so we decided to take them on too. Some of them were a lot easier than others though. We also popped an easy trophy for equipping all legendary items, which we could have got a lot sooner. Going back to the elephants, even with our OP build, we did find one or two of them to be a nightmare to beat, as we were sent back to the lobby for what felt like hours. Some of them were an absolute breeze, which was a bit confusing.
I think I got it. Oh, come on. Please. I died at the same time as killing the elephant. Did it count? It counted. Yes.
Anyway, once we beat all of the elephants and this awful 2v1 elephant battle, we get our next trophy. Since we were cleaning up side events, the next thing to do is to take down the last phallus dude, which was for no trophy surprisingly.
See, now that's some bullshit.
Then we decided to head to the Hippodrome to get involved in some of the chariot racing. There are 2 trophies here, and one is quite easy and the other one is quite rage inducing. The easy one was for ramming an opponent off the road, which was hilarious.
Oh, fucking Christ. Goodbye, mate.
Then the next one was to win a 3-leg tournament, and this one was painful. Believe it or not, driving around in circles with janky controls is quite boring. But eventually we barely come first, which is unusual for me, and unlock the trophy in the process. Going back into the open world, we went and unlocked the chamber with the 50 golden orb things that we have been collecting. Thankfully, we had actually been collecting enough and didn't have to backtrack. This bit was very cool, but since we don't even know what's going on, it was all lost on me and we didn't even get a trophy. What we did get a trophy for, however, was for finally going to the last region of the game at the top of the map, which means that we have now been to every area. We left this area till last as it would only have 1 or 2 locations to quickly complete and the trophy would be ours.
Location completed. Oh no. That means we've missed something.
Are you crying, bro?
No, bro, I'm good, bro.
Looking back at my panic, this is not uncommon, as the locations are all marked as gold question marks until discovered, and the map itself is a yellow desert. I don't know who signed off on that. Anyway, after panicking for a bit, we finally cleared up the remaining locations and headed to the last one.
Right, so we could here get a triple trophy pop. Nice. And what? So we're still missing something. After reading online, it looks like we ain't going to be able to pop that trophy until we beat the game, which is a true test, honestly, as to if I've got everything, let's face it.
With miscellaneous trophies being the only thing left to do, we made a start on this very annoying one. We had to kill 30 enemies by shooting fire arrows at oil jars, but fortunately Google helped me out with this very easy method, and before you know it, the trophy was ours. We then had to feed an alligator with a meal of our choosing, and this took some time, as you can tell by my reaction when it finally happened.
Come on, eat the fucking thing. Oh. Okay.
Our next trophy was for selling 100 trinkets or more at once to this local vendor, which is kind of the only missable trophy of the game. At least you don't really need the money, so there is that. Our next trophy is an easy one to chain into a second trophy. First off, we needed to tame a lion for the first time, and that pops this trophy, followed by taking it to an alligator and making them fight like an ancient version of Smash Bros. The next trophy we went for was for killing a poisoned enemy of level 35 or higher with a torch in 30 seconds. It sounds like quite a lot, but if you use a poison bow and just point blank shoot them to first of all apply the poison and take away most of their HP, you can then just bonk them on the head with the torch and there you go. The next trophy is very easy, as all we had to do was take photos in 5 different regions of the map. The next two, however, were a bit more time consuming and boring. The first one was related to RNG and requires you to be aimlessly wandering around the desert. After a while, Bayek will start to hallucinate and there are a fair few that you can get. However, you need the rarest one to happen, which is raining scarabs, and this took absolutely ages for me. I spent about 30 to 40 minutes running around the desert and even got blue-balled by one that looks very similar. Anyway, we do eventually get the scarab one and pop that trophy, followed by the next tedious one, which is to fast forward time 30 times. What's tedious about this trophy is the playing of the animation over and over again until it pops. Now, for the last miscellaneous trophies, we need to have unlocked the Gladiator Arena. Yes, we still haven't even got that far into the game. So it is time to progress the story a little bit more, and for the most part that will be our focus going forward. It starts off with us making more friends to add to the cause, and we get information on an Order member called the Crocodile. He is an absolute brute and probably gave us one of the most awful moments to watch, which we will cover shortly. First off, we help this family retrieve a ledger from their home that has been invaded with guards. However, it turns out that their child has somehow already retrieved it, and while we were out, they have been captured by the guards. So we then have to fight our way through a bunch of guards and chase down this kid and help the parents. Unfortunately though, we were too late and we got to witness this, which actually shook me a bit, honestly.
Fucking hell. It's not going to show that, is it? No. Oh my god.
Now, let's jump a few missions ahead where we have to gain entry to the Gladiator Arena in order to get information on the Order. It turns out they are using gladiators to do some of their dirty work, and the current champions are on our list. So we ended up meeting an old friend that is already established in the arena and became a duo. It did not take us long to climb the ranks as we were mostly one-shotting enemies. The arena was pretty cool though, I have to admit. Eventually, we earned the right to fight the champions and hopefully get the information that we want.
Oh,
Better scramble like an egg before you get folded like an omelet, nigga. Hey.
We did get one of the miscellaneous arena trophies here for beating an opponent with a finisher. After we beat the duo, it is revealed that the crocodile is this granny right here, which is mad. We also fell out with our friend, but that doesn't really matter. Now, let's get the final miscellaneous trophy, and that is for beating all of the tournaments. Overall, it is pretty easy going, and we even get to rematch against the duo, but this time we are on our own.
oh. I didn't realise there was an option there, I pressed it so quick.
Then we beat the brakes off this unit of a man here in the final fight and offered him the Breakfast of Champions to unlock our trophy.
No mercy. Oh, oh my god.
In theory, that will be everything done and we can get a platinum pop at the end if we got it right. However, I'm not holding on to that as we have messed it up a few times already. So let's go and complete this epic chapter against the crocodile in the most exciting assassination yet. By that I mean I teleported to a close by viewpoint and jumped out of the bush at the bottom as she was conveniently walking past. She was definitely the most deserving of the bunch. Also, I'm not sure if she was meant to be that easy, but that's another tickle with the feather and our next trophy. We were then immediately taken out of the Animus and I was thrilled.
Oh, go away, woman. I don't care for any of this. We was just getting to the good bit. Oh.
For some reason, she has a hidden blade and has no problem ending these soldiers' lives so that she can go back and play VR. What a Chad. Now that we are back in the Animus, we are now for the most part in a 2-hour movie protecting Cleopatra.
Okay, let's go.
In return for all of our assassinations so far, she has managed to find someone that has information on Bayek's son's killers. Since we have helped Cleo and Aya is now back, we then look into the information that we beat out of that dude earlier. Unfortunately, everyone here has been killed and Cleopatra turns up to announce her mission.
Bruh.
And that is to marry and overthrow Julius Caesar, with our help of course. Before that though, we have another section with Aya where we get to take down a few different fleets on our way over. She also gives all of the crew semis, which if you have played this game, that is fair enough. If you don't believe me, this entire crew here decided to sacrifice themselves when we get overwhelmed so that we can paddle away.
So long, gay boys!
After witnessing the biggest act of simping in history, we then arrive at the city and have to sneak Cleopatra into the same room as Julius Caesar. How do we do that, you may ask?
What? Oh, I was going to make up some clothes. Oh no, they put her in the fucking rug.
Yeah, I don't really get how this worked, but we just walk past all of the guards and reveal Cleo to Julius like a magic trick. Also, this man with little man syndrome is Cleo's brother and he immediately gets dismissed by everyone after baby raging. We are currently helping Julius and Cleo find the remnants of an old tomb located in the palace, which does not take us long to do as we have already cleared it out while exploring. They, for some reason, take a bit of a liking to this tomb, but before we get any information, there has been an attack on Julius's men. It turns out that the Order were not too happy with Caesar banging Cleo for power and have retaliated. The good news is, the guys that we were personally after are a part of it and have now opened themselves up with this. Unfortunately though, we were too late to save his people, even though our horse was doing parkour to get here.
I'm dying. Help me.
We then go back to Caesar with everything that we have found, but a war has just begun as the harbour has just been attacked. While Caesar comes up with battle plans, Cleo takes the throne and we learn that her brother is behind this. So he quickly becomes one of our next targets. For now, we continue as Aya and go to help send an emergency signal to Caesar's men and the coastal crews. What is great is this is for the most part a cool parkour sequence with a couple of fights at the top of the tower. When we do get to the top, there is this cutscene that plays out and it looks like Aya is about to be main menued, but then it cuts to Bayek. he is currently getting an earful from Caesar about how women are inferior and she will fail us all.
Did a woman to do something of such importance? How are the fleet to receive their orders?
However, while saying that, the signal is lit and we were good to launch a counterattack. It doesn't start off too well though, as we were chased through the city by this elephant and we then have to put it down.
Oh shit, what the hell? Elephant! Okay. Why is it chasing us? I mean, I am shooting it in the face.
We then fast forward a little bit more and we are fighting another elephant in this war zone where you can barely see anything. We actually rinse this boss in record time and enter the next cutscene. It turns out that the dude riding the elephant was one of the targets, so he has earned a little tickle with the magic feather. He also tells us where to find one of our other targets and we of course run over there. This fight was another one that was a breeze, and just as we were about to finish the job, Caesar comes along and prevents it from happening. It was at this point that we learned that he of course was part of the Order, and this dude we were about to kill is his right hand man. We get to witness how Aya took down Cleo's brother, which was brutal, and we then get folded like a lawn chair. There was also this cutscene showing the takeover of power, and this is our next list of targets. Bayek and Aya then head to the tomb as that's where they think they will be. However, it turns out that the puzzle has been solved and one of the good guys is about to despawn. But he does give us a trophy and some information before going to the main menu. We have had enough of waiting and chasing at this point, so we go after one of the Order members that has the magic ball. Not gonna lie, he was kind of a challenge, but we do eventually figure out his attacks and then get this cutscene. We get to see our son Kimu do the honours of the tickle, which was quite emotional, and we of course get another trophy. Not long to go now for that platinum, I promise. Then we skip into another Aya section and we play as her for the final part of the game, unfortunately. It starts with us having to blast our way through more fleets until we make it to Rome. When we get there, we get to go straight after Caesar and his friend by tracking them down to this arena here. Some henchmen were sent down to fight us alongside Caesar's right hand man, but no one stood a chance with us on our warpath. We eventually beat him and get a chance to chat in this Shadow World area before we go after Caesar. He is actually hiding at the moment while delivering a meeting, so we start off by sneaking our way through the fortress. Then we manage to locate Caesar and literally just wander up to him and assassinate him, which was hilariously easy. What was unexpected though was his murder then becomes a gang hit as everyone just starts giving him the old London handshake. It then cuts quickly to us weirdly enough chilling with Cleopatra, which doesn't make any sense honestly. Then we get our final cutscene of the game where Bayek starts training people to take the Creed and protect Egypt. But most importantly, let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that we got everything done for the last trophies to pop. We of course got our trophy for simply beating the game. Then we anxiously sat there and waited. Luckily we did manage to get everything and the Old Habits trophy popped right after, followed by the Assassin's Creed Origins Platinum trophy pop, and what a journey that was. That is now 2 Assassin's Creed Platinums under my belt, and despite how tedious this one was, I really did enjoy it. Overall, I am one of those people that do prefer the more linear and older games, but it was nice to jump into the game that pivoted the franchise entirely. Bayek's story was actually really interesting and the setting was amazing. Everything did just kind of work here. I'm not too sure why it got so much hate on release, but many years later, I do think it is worth playing. The Platinum, however, was quite tedious as there was just too much of the same things to do. It doesn't quite ruin the game though, but it's just not that rewarding. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and comment what games you would like to see. Also, if you are interested in Platinum trophies and gaming content, then consider subscribing to stay tuned with all of the bangers that we drop here, and I will catch you in the next one.
我很喜欢冰淇淋。